At the National Mataraki Hautapu ceremony at Takaparawahu, the morning light reveals a country attempting to connect with its roots. It was here that Gail Finlayson-Davis, a former probation officer in her late 70s, stood and spoke through tears. She asked New Zealanders to open your heart to Te Ao Māori, sharing her own late-in-life journey to learn the language. Stories like Gail's travel fast. They provide a comforting narrative, the idea that racial reconciliation and national healing are happening naturally, driven by individual compassion. This chart shows that her effort reflects a broader shift. Currently, 62. There is a core tension here. While community connection grows, it is increasingly being used as a shield for state-level regression. The primary actors in this shift are the leaders of the current coalition government, Christopher Luxon, David Seymour, and Winston Peters. While the public celebrates stories of unity like Gail's, the cabinet is quietly executing a budget that strips over $1 billion from the very Maori systems she is trying to understand. By highlighting these personal, cross-cultural journeys, the state can project an image of a unified country while systematically dismantling Indigenous rights behind the scenes. Gail's personal journey involved a specific discipline, learning to sit with the discomfort of a worldview different from her own to truly understand it. The coalition government chose a different path. They legislated to remove the exact political mechanism designed to force local councils to engage with those Maori perspectives, the Maori wards. This visualization shows the result. 26 councils across New Zealand scrapped their Maori wards, leading to a 57.1% drop in representation in those areas. Representation is a structural necessity, not a matter of individual empathy. Without a legally guaranteed seat at the governance table, Maori perspectives remain optional. Gail described feeling humbled by the anguish of Maori, who must reclaim a language they never should have lost, an experience she defines by a spirit of manakitanga, or care. The state's response is represented here, over $1 billion in Maori-specific funding cut across the last 2 budgets. These financial cuts have a human face, specifically the 2,100 health worker roles axed in the communities that rely on them most. Claiming to feel empathy for historical trauma while removing the resources required to heal it is simply austerity in disguise. The appetite for change remains visible in the community. Deo's weekly Waiata group, for example, draws up to 20 Pakeha wahine every Monday, yet the official data has gone dark. Stats NZ has not published national Te Reo proficiency data since 2021, leaving the true scale of this growth unmeasured. This lack of data collection is a political tool. By refusing to measure revitalization, the state avoids the obligation to fund it at the scale the public clearly desires. Gail Finlayson-Davis has become a vocal critic of the political system that would otherwise use her story as a shield. She has described her heartbreak over the dismantling of cultural progress, stating clearly that some people in power are being antagonistic towards Māori. This image captures the tension. Protesters hold banners for the language directly in the shadow of the beehive, where the laws are being rewritten. For a Tanga Tiriti, private study is only the starting point. The real work involves publicly challenging the legislation that dismantles the very language and culture being studied. True partnership, rangatiratanga in practice, requires a government that matches the public's open hearts with institutional and financial support. The coalition government is currently doing the opposite. They are bricking up the doors to policy, funding, and representation that took decades to open. Individual courage like Gail's is vital, and it should be praised. But a grandmother's goodwill must never be used as an alibi for a government's systemic regression.